You know I hate Steve Miller, though, right?
Oh, do you?
Yeah. What the fuck has Steve Miller done for anybody?
I don't know.
Abracadabra?
Is that the song that I was just singing?
I think so.
What is that? Space Cowboy?
Yeah. Fuck that.
I love that song, man.
Yeah, you love that song. But
Maurice.
It's like, that song is as important as Margaritaville. Or no, as do you like pina coladas? Margaritaville's more important.
No way. That's in garbage town. Is
Steve Miller important?
I don't know. I don't know too much about this.
Okay.
I didn't even know who did that song. I just really like that song.
That and Abracadabra.
Okay, yeah. That's useless. But
I'd rather have fucking Escalator of Love.
No, but that song, Space Guy, some people call me. Yeah.
Really? Do we need it?
That has the best line ever. It's like, I love your peaches. I want to shake your tree.
Yeah, no,
Come
it's
on,
a good line.
man.
It's a great line. I'm not going to take that away from it.
Space Cowboy. There's a song with Space Cowboy in it.
Do we need anything else from Steve Miller?
No.
Okay, good.
But I like that song.
That's right.
I didn't even know it was Steve Miller.
Why is Steve Miller in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I don't know. And
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Doobie Brothers aren't.
You do not know why he is.
And the Doobie Brothers are not. Yeah, that's my biggest.
It's a real problem.
It's a real problem. The Doobie Brothers Hall of Fame.
Sorry.
Make it happen. As you can tell, Jive and Honey, famous for nothing.
Our 500th episode.
500.
Five.
It feels like
five.
It feels
five.
like
Sorry.
500.
Sorry. It would be a bigger deal. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
But we're taking a break from the movies and cinema and actors, and we're going into music. Our first music episode.
Yeah, I feel like.
It's time.
Yeah,
shake
it's
it up.
good. It's good. It's good. And there's a lot of. This should be its own episode. I think is actors who became musicians and musicians who became actors.
Yeah. Some
because
very few are successful.
Wow,
very few.
The street goes one way better than it goes the other.
Yes,
but it's still not a great street.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's for another time.
But you were in a band.
I was.
You played bass?
I did play bass.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in a couple bands, but one that was for an extended period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
How was that? How living the band life?
It was a hard time to be in a band. It was this isn't going to date me. It was right before the onset of grunge.
Grunge, right?
But before grunge broke, so it was like the band I was in, we were a fucking mess, man. We were super into really heavy stuff like the Melvins and Black Sabbath.
Right.
But we were super into goth shit and post-punk stuff like Joy Division and Bauhaus.
Right.
And our singer was awful, so he just had this really deep voice. But it was like before that was like a thing.
Yeah.
And like 2 or 3 of the guys arguably in the band were really good musicians. The guy played keyboards and piano, and one of the guitar players and the drummer were all really, really good. Like,
did they move on? Did they do anything?
The keyboard players did Justin, my buddy Justin, who he's been in a lot of bands and has had
he's still
some real success.
Along. Yeah.
And he's a fantastic musician all around. I mean, and I think his new band I think is Love Me My Alien or something. They're great. They're really good. It's very different from what we did. I mean, we were like, equal parts, New Order and Fugazi. It's like we really couldn't put our thumbs on it.
Didn't have a clear identity.
But we
did you do your own music?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
We
that's
recorded some stuff and
that's credible in itself.
Yeah, but see, I think the problem was everyone was sort of in different places, and I was like, very much into Axl Rose and. Like somebody else.
Everyone was.
This is very dark and brooding, and it just, it was like.
You wanted to have some fun.
I liked the Afghan Wigs as much as I liked Poison, and it was a problem. It was not. It didn't all jive. It was a casserole of nonsense, really.
Yeah, it's about that. It does take a certain chemistry to make a band, but say like you had 3 wishes, a genie, came out of a bottle, grant your wish. Would you want to be I mean, you played bass, but would you want to be like a front man of a band or lead guitar? Like, did you want to be Eddie Van Halen?
No, dude.
Or
David Lee Roth. Always. Probably. I mean, I'm an only child, so that would explain a lot. But I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you can't beat the cachet of being the singer.
Fuck, hell yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's when you go, oh, Led Zeppelin, you're like, oh, Robert Plant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Page.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Page had something to do with it.
And Jimmy Page, no slouch.
Yeah.
And so always the singer.
Yeah,
always the singer.
It's funny. It's like, as you know, I can't sing a note. Couldn't carry a tune if it had handles. But man, that's all I want. It's all, in the car, shower. I'm singing at home. It's like, if anything, even more than like, thinking about superpowers, because that's so absurd. But like, there's actual people being rock stars and having voices,
Here's the thing. Lead singers don't sing for extended periods of time in some bands during guitar solos or whatever.
Right.
They have nothing to do with their hands, and they still look awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
So, I mean...
it's funny. It's just a little side thing. I never saw them live. I was like a moderate fan, never bought their albums or whatever. But because of what's the thing in Vegas, the Sphere?
Yeah.
The U2 shows, I caught a little bit of Bono. Very awkward. Like, his stage presence was kind of clunky. Weird. I don't know if because he was older. I don't know if he was better when he was younger or what, but...
Well, you know what? I think there's also something to experiencing music live, right? Because it's almost a better edit because you move your eyes to where you want.
Right.
And you like, guitar solo. I'm going to watch a guitar
You're going to watch him.
Yeah. You don't watch it. Oh, so, Bono's 98 years old now.
Yeah, I know. So that might have something to do with it. So no offense, Bono. Yeah.
They'll come for us.
This got me thinking about one of my favorite kind of, it's like a fable. It's like, it's mystic. It's got dark magic to it. I want to believe that it actually exists. But is the whole idea, and especially with rock and roll and music, is the crossroads.
Robert Johnson.
Meet at the crossroads, you meet a stranger. He says, I can promise you fame and fortune and whatever, but I want your soul. You got to sell your soul to the devil.
Man, I would love to meet him.
So, well, that's the question. Would you do it?
Hell yeah. I want to see terms because I don't want it to be one of those things.
No, but it's basically, well, we kind of know it's a tortured, tragic, early death. Like, you will not see.
It's the early part that kills me.
Yeah, it's the early.
I would do it if I had a Jewish lawyer with me who could really read that fine print, maybe get me a loophole.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not how it works. That's not how the fable works. Yeah. You're not wandering around with a guitar case and a lawyer.
Yeah. I think I'd still do it.
Yeah, it'd be hard not to.
My fear would be that I'd get Elizabeth Hurley would give me the small dick.
Oh, yeah. No, isn't it?
She would Brendan Fraser me.
Is that Bedazzled? Are you bringing up Bedazzled?
Oh, Bedazzled? Is that what it was?
I thought that was something like that.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Gary,
it's terrible.
Get some...
Yeah. But so this is our topic is that early tragic death, and it's like it feeds the fable of like, are they selling their souls? They have so much fame, and it's like that's a close that, like, you're a rock god. It's like actors and actresses, they're famous and they live a lofty, elevated life. But there's not, like, a rock god is just like
rock star famous is different.
Different.
It's different.
Because you have the free pass to debauchery.
Yeah.
It's like you're almost expected to trash hotel rooms, be fucking driving your car into a swimming pool. It's like you're supposed to do insane stuff and you're reveled for it.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
sleep with 100 women.
It's since the inception of Rockstar, it's been debaucherous, right? Like,
yeah.
Whether you're talking about Elvis.
Yeah.
Or Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. Yeah, you're allowed to marry your 13-year-old cousin. It's
man.
like, but it's like the insanity. But it's
That's the reason I've never liked Dennis Quaid, because he married his 13-year-old cousin
in a movie playing.
in a movie where he was playing a guy. Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that leads to the mystique and the fable of the crossroads and selling your soul. It's like, you get to such a lofty height. The fall is that much.
Oh yeah, the fall's that much further.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're in mediocrity, you fall. You basically just roll over.
When you're when you're a dad who drinks IPAs in cargo shorts and they have a cover band, and you fall from grace from there, that's just pathetic.
Yeah, a few Snickers at the pool. Yeah.
It's like, hey, is this a different guy playing bass on Long Tall Sally? You're like, yeah. We had to let Chet go. He was out of control.
Dad bands, don't do it. Just stop. So going into our topic of early tragic rock and roll deaths, the first thing that comes to mind is the 27 Club.
Right.
Which it's weird. It
is weird.
I think there were so many right in a row. It hasn't happened. It happened. It's so funny. I was just about to say recently, and that was like 30 years ago.
Yeah. It was more than 27 years ago.
But I'll run down the quick list of the 20. These are all people that died tragically at 27 years old. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Brian Jones from the Stones, and then 30 years ago, which I was going to say currently, Kurt Cobain. All 27.
It does make you think that being 27 in the 60s was probably way more dangerous.
Right.
I think an argument could be made that for any age, 25, whatever you want to say is tragically young,
right.
There's a whole bunch of talented people that died then. Because that list is like, yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. I mean, these are all like really talented people.
But they're also like so. It's like none of them put out more than 2-3 albums.
Right now,
and at 27, I mean, who knows what you know?
Who else died at 27? Robert Johnson. Which does lead you to think that all of these people made deals with the devil because taken tragically young,
adding to the legend,
adding to the lore. It's been a long time, huh? Since we lost someone at 27. That was worthwhile.
There might be, but that's the thing. Like researching this, it's like we're going to touch on a very few. There are so many rock and roll deaths. It's like a lot of people and it's like the guitarist from Ozzy Osbourne, it's like all these. There's a lot, so we're just gonna kind of touch on the top part.
It's I don't know how I know he was young, but I don't know how old Randy Rhoads was when he died, or arguably Ian Curtis from Joy Division. The 2 records Joy Division. He died. But
he was young.
Stevie Ray Vaughan,
right?
Was he 30? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's
right.
It's not. There's a lot of.
And thinking about age, it's funny. The ones that, like, if you were going to do a Deadpool on rock and roll stars, you would have, like, Keith Richards.
Well, yeah.
And the whole,
you would have lost a lot
all
of money
the
on
Stones.
Keith Richards, yeah.
It's like he's still performing in his 70s.
Yeah, I know.
It's insane. It's like he's petrified. It's just like maybe he beat the devil. I'd like to think, it's like he's the one that out-tricked him.
Yeah.
The devil's like, I just can't kill the fucker.
Yeah, he's like, I've been trying. I mean,
he just won't die.
I tried a coconut even.
Yeah.
I still can't kill him.
The one that I have a personal story about, because it's also a little insight to my childhood of being. Everyone says, "Oh, you're the baby, you're the youngest, you got spoiled, right?" Because you're an only child for a certain amount of time, and being the baby, I was like, but I had an older brother. 4 years older, and I mean, there was like a patch of years where we just went and I still have chipped teeth. We used to like physically fight,
man,
like throwing each other's off a roof. He chained me to the tree one time. all sorts of.
As much as I always wanted an older sibling to give me the magic record like Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that.
I think
shit.
that's why I'm such a good. Such a good rebounder in basketball. It's all that rage of my childhood with my older brother.
Yeah.
But back to this, relevant to this story is Elvis. I was a huge Elvis fan as a little kid, like 8, 9, 10 years old, and I there's so many pictures and 8mm film of me with anything in my hands.
So like Hound Dog Elvis.
Yeah, like movies. I used to watch all the Elvis movies, and I had tons of albums. They'd always buy 45s. You know, it's like everyone. It was just known in my family, and people would be like, "Do Elvis," and I would do the leg dance and the Elvis thing. I had a whole Elvis
because you
routine.
just wanted an Asian houseboy named Ping Pong.
Ping Pong. No.
How did that happen? How
Blue Hawaii?
Blue Hawaii.
It was Murder She Wrote. No, what's it? What was
Angela Lansbury?
Angela Lansbury the thing.
Yeah,
and she had
Ping Pong, Mai Tai, Chop Chop,
Chop Chop. That
was the line.
Written and in a movie. Anyway,
that's crazy.
I digress.
Crazy racist. Anyway,
but we kind of bring it up all the time.
Yeah. We do like that line. It's pretty good.
You gotta look that up. I don't even know. I think they might have edited it out. I think I tried to find it one time and I couldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm playing it out in my head. I can remember the one.
Oh, I can remember.
One time she says it. I think a few times in the movie.
But my father had some flaws, and it was a rough time with my dad. But he, when he was there, he was trying. He did try to do a thing, and the one thing he did, he got me tickets to Elvis. Elvis was coming to play the Utica Auditorium.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was beyond excited. It was the first thing where I'd wake up and I'd be on my calendar marking off the days or whatever. I come home from school one day and my lovely older brother is beside himself waiting to tell me Elvis is dead.
Oh man.
And I was just no, I had a temper tantrum. I was so mad at him. I went for his throat. I thought he was fucking with me. And my mother had to tear me off him and be like, Elvis is dead. I cried. I was just and we had tickets. It was less than a week. This is where memory fades.
Man.
But it was literally it was 5 days after he died, or however you want to.
That's tragic.
Tragic for me. Tragic. I was just holy fucking shit.
I feel for you.
It was
really
fun. But that's also goes to the things I knew there was no Santa Claus way too early. I knew there was no Easter Bunny. I was my brother was but it was it just spoke to it's we're actually really okay and we're good friends now and we get along. It's but in that age period,
rough,
it was rough.
What a motherfucker.
What a motherfucker. But Elvis dead. And then it's as I was older, it's hearing about how he died and the state he was in. He fucking died on his toilet, man. Yeah. They found him OD'd on the toilet. It's just Elvis, man. God damn. It's I could go with the karate, the jumpsuits, pretending to be an FBI agent. Yeah. I was down. I had all the magazines. It's dude, whatever, man. You're a kookaboo. I don't care, man. You're Elvis.
Pants at the ankles.
Yeah.
Taking a fucking fried banana and peanut butter sandwich dump.
Oh, it had a stink to no hell.
And that guy flushed it and was like, "Oh no!" The guy that found him flushed that and went, "I just flushed my golden ticket."
Yeah. The last thing Elvis ever produced.
But that guy, that's great. But that guy wasn't smart enough to then take his own dump in a box and
be oh, this is Elvis's dump. Yeah.
So
until now, I never really thought about
never thought about that last dump.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it!
That gives me a lot of insight into you.
Yeah, it was fucked up, man. I still think about it, and I actually looked up. I wish my dad didn't save the tickets. I was fuck. But I found them on eBay, and someone was like selling the Utica Auditorium that show, and I did check the dates, and it was like days before. It's like holy shit.
I do like the idea of Jumpsuit Joey, though. I think that should.
Oh, I wanted one so bad.
How have you never been Elvis for Halloween?
I think I was.
Maybe that predated.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. I would. Yeah. The total with the phoenix, the sequined phoenix.
Hell yeah.
And like the cape.
Yeah, a cape.
Another
Again,
cape.
A cape. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like, come on, man.
I think we need capes.
Just on an odd side, I was like thinking of like weird shit. Like, rock and roll people should never fly in anything. Because you have Buddy Holly, who died with a Big Bopper, and Richie Valens. Yeah. Stevie Ray Vaughan died.
Do you think they were on one side, like the Big Bopper was on one side and Richie Valens?
Well, that's why.
They all got. He went, "Hey guys, look at this," and they all. Yeah. 1950s. Don't get in a prop. Get in a prop plane
to fly.
That's
anywhere.
for sure. Yeah.
Otis Redding. The young R&B.
Aaliyah died.
Yeah. There was a country star. Who is the woman?
Reba McEntire.
No, Patsy Cline. Did
Patsy Cline? Yeah, Patsy Cline died in a plane.
Plane. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
it's
holy
like
shit.
don't get in a plane.
I think Aaliyah was probably in something more than a prop plane, but not too much bigger, because I think it was like in the islands or something. It was like a smaller.
Right.
Yeah,
but it's just like. So like the devil works in crazy ways. It's like they pull you out of the sky. It's like how he gets you don't know. There's a few murders. Famous John Lennon.
Right. Okay.
Marvin Gaye.
Oh right. Yeah.
His father.
Yeah.
Talk about father figures. Yeah. My dad was was a prince.
Yeah. My dad's starting to look.
No, and he never tried to kill me.
Look like a real father of the year.
Then the Latina Selena. It's killed by her friend.
It was actually her fan club manager killed her. So she was not a stable woman. And
did she do something weird that she didn't approve of, or she just like
she was the story
if
I
she's
heard
the fan leader,
right? But she was skimming. Which was a problem because people started complaining to Selena when they'd see her, like, "Hey, I never got my autographed photo of you. I sent my $20."
Right.
And she was skimming. But it also, and again, I heard this on the Disgraceland podcast. It was a good episode. Check it out. I think Selena was maybe having an affair, and the fan club manager found out, so was getting ready to blackmail her, and again, not a mentally healthy woman, and then got kind of back against the wall, decided like, I gotta shoot my way out of this, and killed Selena.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's it. It's insane,
crazy.
Other weird ones that Karen Carpenter. Excuse me. And it was heart failure, but caused from years of anorexia.
Right. That was unhealthy. Now, you told me Karen Carpenter was a kick-ass drummer.
Yeah.
I have no idea about that. That's amazing.
Yeah, there's a video out there. Look it up where she's just like fucking jamming on the drums. It's like it's very cool. Lady drummers are awesome.
Lady drummers,
it's pretty fucking cool.
It's pretty.
R.I.P. Michael Hutchinson.
Oh man,
it's not Hutchins.
Michael Hutchins.
It's really weird spelling.
Huge NXS fan.
Oh,
love
huge.
Michael Hutchins.
Oh my god.
There's a great. I think I told you to watch it at one point. I think it was Showtime. Maybe.
Oh, I never did.
Movie
documentary.
But it was like a reenactment.
Oh really?
Thing.
I didn't know that.
Of NXS, and maybe it was a series. I don't know. But the first one was great. It was them coming up, and you really see how the one Ferris brother really was pushing them hard and wrote all this great music, and Michael Hutchins becoming a rock god. Really,
he's so great.
And then the second movie, sort of after he got in a fist fight in Germany, I think, and hit his head, and that started causing all these problems.
I vaguely
for him.
remember.
And so he started becoming kind of a monster after.
Ooh, not cool.
Also, there's There's a great movie called Dogs in Space. It was an Australian movie, and he plays a strung out singer for a band called Dogs in Space. Yeah, I remember.
That's right. He's Australian.
Seeing this movie again. Father of the Year. I think I was 12 or 13. I saw this movie at my dad's. It was one of the only music VHSs you could rent from Sabra Video on 22nd Street, where my dad had a membership because he had a VHS deck. And I watched this movie and I loved it. And I was like, the soundtrack is like Nick Cave. It's Iggy Pop. It's an amazing movie that was nobody ever knows it. The movie is awesome. It's kind of a bummer, as I recall. I remember kind of being so enamored with his girlfriend in it. She was like this bleach blonde, and I don't remember who the actress is. We'll pop it up here.
Yeah.
Just so cool.
Yeah, dude, I got a lot of things to watch.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. Maybe it doesn't hold up. I don't know. But it was about like that junky rock and roll life, and it was kind of beautiful and kind of tragic, and pretty sure he dies at the end.
Awesome.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't remember it entirely, but I was so affected by that, and I was like, I got to be in a band.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. Sorry, that just came to me.
Yeah, no.
You just took me there. Dads and rock stars and Michael Hutchins. Yeah.
But was it confirmed that it was audio asphyxiation?
It's audio asphyxiation because it happens to a rock star. Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Autoerotic.
Yeah, it was. And, that one they admitted to. That was it, right? And
yeah. They found him.
Kill Bill, right? He was doing
that. Carrington.
I think Big J. Okerson has a bit about it where he's like, all these rock stars that hung themselves, they were jerking off. They for sure were jerking off. They did not commit suicide. Chris Cornell did not commit suicide at 52 years old.
Right.
He was jerking off.
Right.
They just don't want to. They just don't want to say that. They don't want it. They want it
to
be.
Death by hanging means that
you were jerking off. Yeah.
And that's a bit allegedly.
Loren Scott, right? Mick Jagger's girlfriend. She like a scarf around her neck and from a doorknob, which I'm like, that story never fucking made sense to me. Yeah. So she was probably jerking off.
Flipping the bean.
She was flicking the bean.
Dear Lord. Whitney Houston. It was I looking this up. It was an accidental drowning, but she found a lot of cocaine in her system at the time.
Whitney Houston, you forget because you think maybe because of how we followed Whitney's trajectory. We think of like Whitney and Bobby, like reality TV star. Oof. Whitney was a model before she sang.
Yeah. She's gorgeous,
hot as heck.
Yeah, gorgeous, voice of an angel.
Unreal.
It's funny.
Unreal.
Bobby Brown's still alive.
How, Bobby?
Yeah,
dude.
It's just like yeah.
You found the loophole.
It's like he literally like destroyed like a Disney princess.
But I mean, the thing is, truth be told, everyone goes, Whitney was
pride.
It was the allure around Whitney. Right. They put her on a pedestal. She was tough stuff.
Yeah. Her life was Instagram real, but her real life was Allegedly. I only saw Whitney and Bobby one episode, and it was she was like whining crazy. He was blotto out of his head, and she had a I don't know what, there's a medical, I was trying to think of the medical word for it, but she had a poop that wouldn't come out, and he had to go up and manually take out her poop.
Oh,
and I'm just like, wow, this is on TV. You agreed to put this on TV. Used to be like, this amazing star, and now you have drugged out Bobby Brown pulling out a poop.
Did he go in the front or the back?
Because they didn't do it. It was all behind closed door.
Because apparently, and you can comment on this if I'm wrong, there's a number of women who go in through the front and can push it.
No, I don't.
Dude, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Even
it's a medical
I don't
thing.
want that in my head. For all the things going on down there, I like it for the reasons I like it. I don't need to know they're
they
self-ejecting their poo
That's crazy. I didn't know about that till maybe 2 years ago.
from her sweet honey pot.
Uh-huh.
I don't.
The Garden of Eden is right next to a trash dump.
It's like, yeah, please, if
not
he's-
good.
If he's just like, I want to know your sources.
I'll get that. I'll find that for sure.
All right, back to rock and roll deaths. And again, like those were some like classic, infamous, the 27 Club. Current like Freddie Mercury dying of AIDS. George Michael's. What was it, George? I don't even think
I think it was.
I did not look
I think it was
that
a heart thing that ultimately killed him, because he was a tad bit overweight there at the end.
Was it?
So I think it was health, like congenital
right.
heart failure.
Then we have Cobain,
which is fucking got in the way of a bullet.
Yeah. No one will know about that one. It's like, that's crazy.
Tried to stop Courtney Love's shot.
Yeah. Oof.
Courtney's still with us.
Yeah, Courtney
celebrating
and Bobby
birthday.
Brown should get together and collaborate.
Wow. You know what?
Yeah, it could be good.
I got.
I think Hole's coming back.
You know what? I've maintained fandom for Hole.
Yeah.
And Courtney Love's musically, I still enjoy her music.
Oh, I love Hole.
Even though those two records, supposedly Billy Corgan of Smash
Yeah.
Pumpkins wrote all the songs, and that's why they were
so
goddamn good.
They were so good. I saw her live at the TLA. It was like, she was great. She crowd surfed and like she fucking cursed out Philadelphia because someone was trying to finger her while she was crowd surfing. It was just like, not cool, Philadelphia.
It wasn't not a super cool move.
Yeah, she was not happy.
Yeah, well,
But maybe it gave a little show, a little extra energy.
give it a little.
Courtney.
Yeah.
But then we have the some icons that passed recently. And the first one I'll get out of the way just because it doesn't go along with the other three is David Bowie, who battled cancer for a long time, and it was liver cancer, and it was just and it was tragic, and it was just like, I was out of the country at the time.
What was that, 2016?
Yeah,
God damn, it's creeping up on a long time ago.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
but within the last 10 years.
Yeah, within 10 years.
But I was on a beach and, out of the country, and we just started hearing, a guy started playing Bowie music. And it was just like, and the moon, it was like this thin, tiny crescent moon. And like
Moon Age Daydream?
What's that?
It was a Moon Age Daydream?
Yeah. Like I was taking pictures of it before because I'm like, this would be an amazing album cover. Because it was that, that it's not the Caribbean, but it was like tropical. So it was like that green water at sunset with the blue and like the giant, it was like really low crescent moon that you could still see the whole moon. It was amazing. Then all this Bowie music started coming on, and we're like, what the fuck? And then we found out like everyone found out Bowie dead. So like in this remote island.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a weird place to find out, but it does good to show you like David Bowie.
Oh, the
one
reach.
of the most intergalactic stars of all time.
Right. Now, then the next three all were drug related. And it was like, which will lead me to my next kind of area. One was Michael Jackson,
right?
Tom Petty,
right?
And my all-time favorite, Prince. Huge Prince fans. We don't need to go into that right now, but it was devastating. It was rough. I left work when I found out.
Dude, that's a bad one. Prince was a bad one. I mean, Tom Petty was shocking, but also like, I gotta be honest, I don't fucking care enough. Tom Petty's super talented. I enjoy a bunch of Tom Petty songs.
Right.
My favorite Tom Petty thing ever that I experienced was one weeknight I went to a bar and there was a Tom Petty cover band and the guy that sang for them was so committed that he was like fully in character, and he's like, I talked to him after the show and he's like, well, yeah, I was just channeling Tom Petty from Nassau Coliseum on May 6, 1986. And I was like, whoa, what? I mean, he was like, oh, yeah, that was their set. That's what we played tonight.
Holy hell.
I mean, he was in it.
That's in it.
He was good, man.
But that's also like, since Famous for Nothing is about fame and celebrity, Imagine doing something in your life where another human being like is so immersed in one thing you did one night 30 years ago and he's performing it. That's his performance, that's his art, is to channel something you just did. Like it's like all these like I was getting into all the drugs. All three of them, Michael Jackson, Tom Petty, and Prince, all had insane amount of drugs. And it's like, you know, is it to cope with the fame and the celebrity, or is it like the drugs fuel the creativity, and then once you get money, fame, and easy access, does it become a problem? Like, where does it? Like, there's a lot of people that believe, like, you know, smoking weed or
it makes you more creative.
Yeah, it makes you more creative. It opens up.
I think there's definitely some of that. Being on tour is a grind. Like, I've never went on an extended tour. Like, I always did like short things, and it is the same thing every day.
Right.
It's not that you're like, oh man, I get to go to, you know, all these different cities and see all these things. Not really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
And you know what?
You're exhausted.
Most bands that are touring, not staying in great places.
Yeah.
You're like, well, hopefully we don't get robbed.
Yeah, hide your shit.
When you have a kind of decent tour, because I've been with friends on tour, and it's like there's riders, but you come up with a rider at the beginning of your tour. You're right. Whatever you get in your dressing room, it's the same thing every night.
Yeah. Yeah,
you get, you know, a case of Heineken's, a deli platter,
right,
whatever it is, you know, it's the same thing. And there's like this boredom and this monotony, and there's this tension.
Grind.
And yeah, it's a grind. And there's also, it's almost immediately tense.
Yeah.
Amongst everybody involved.
Right.
Tour manager, you know, support crew, everybody. Like, it's really, really tense, and the booze only does so much at a certain point.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're at places with people where that's where drugs are.
But you're also like, you have to go out on stage to a room full of strangers and perform. And
you know what? Sometimes you're not met with it. Somebody when you're like,
I can't imagine.
Like middling for somebody or even opening, and it's like they're not there to fucking see you.
Yeah.
And they want you to be done. That is a tough thing to deal with when you're like, oh no, it's just my art, thanks.
Right.
You know, and you're trying to win them over, and at a certain point you just get beaten down.
Yeah.
And then I think there's definitely merit to the access, like at a certain level, you're becoming easier.
Right.
And then the need to like, we need another whatever.
Yeah, the label. The label is like,
we need more output.
Yeah, and especially if you're coming off, you know, whether you're coming off a good album and you need to follow it up, or you had a bad album and they're just like, hey, where's the magic? We go back and get the magic.
Yeah, there's something to that.
So you're looking for that fuel, and usually comes in drugs. But like Tom Petty, man, Tom
Petty had a long time off of drugs,
but
and then
he
went
had
back.
6 drugs in his system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Fentanyl, oxy, trimazepam, and another one I can't even pronounce.
I think that's what they use on cakes. Trimazepam.
Yeah, I hate that shit. You peel that shit off.
I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
You can decorate with it, but it's gross.
Yeah.
And then Michael Jackson, he had a horse tranquilizer. Looking this up, I think I vaguely remember it going on, but I didn't know if it went through. It was deemed a homicide. And the doctor was charged with involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you've had surgery or a medical procedure where you get, I think, was it fentanyl? Or it was something, I forget what it was. It may not have been fentanyl. It might have been whatever the other thing he was taking. Which
the horse thing is the
Potol. Yeah, it's Propitol. Propitol, not Propecia. Propitol, which I had during a medical procedure.
Oh, Jesus shit.
Dude, it's time travel.
I can't.
I mean, they're like, okay, count down from 10. You're like,
boom.
10.
And then you wake up naked in another room.
You wake up after.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I could see where
like I can't shut it down. I need to sleep. I need to sleep.
And that was the Prince thing. They were
Yeah.
like, he couldn't shut it off, and he had gone for such.
Well, they
extended
said
periods.
it started like because he performed. He lives in
heels,
high
yeah,
heel
yeah.
shoes.
The pain.
And if you ever see him perform, it's amazing. Like he would jump off his piano into splits and he's flying all around in high heels. It's like so he had back problems. He had all sorts of things. It's like it's tough.
Yeah, it's
So
beyond sad.
Now, after going through all these deaths, are you still selling your soul? Are you still pricking your finger and signing in blood and selling your soul to the devil? Be a rock and roll god.
Yes.
Yes, me
Yes. For sure.
Yeah, it's
So
like
wait, but what? If you could do that, let's just make a tweak to the rules. What year are you going to be a rock star in?
oh shit. Oh, that's tough. Not today.
Nah,
Have to be. For me. It's the time I grew up. It's the '80s. It's just like between like loving Prince, and Van Halen, and before that I was a Kiss fan. So like late '70s, early '80s, going from Kiss to Van Halen to Prince, and like just like all that. It's just that's
I would
my
say,
rock and roll. That's why.
I would say 1977.
Yeah,
right.
like late '70s.
Yeah, pre-AIDS.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
Not that you got to worry because you're going anyhow. But so maybe you take AIDS off the table because you're
it's like why,
you're cooked anyway.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be 1988, 87 into 88. I think.
What was 87, 88?
I mean, you got Def Leppard, Hysteria, Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
You got. I mean, like the records that came out that year are insanely good, and I mean, especially for like groupie music.
Yeah.
You are. I think Dr. Feelgood might have been in there. Like you are. Like it is so good. The list of records that came out like right in that era.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
But that's funny because like I'm 6 years older than you, so like that kind of falls
It's
right in.
6 years.
So if it's 80,
you're
like I'm like 81 and like
you're like 81 to 83.
Yeah.
I'm like 87, 88. Yeah.
But we were at that same age
yeah.
of where it's just like
Because 6 years is good. 10 years, you start having issues with like my wife and I are 10 years.
right.
You and your wife are
5.
Okay, so yeah. But it's like my TV shows, her TV shows, different
Are
from
different.
childhood.
Yeah.
Music different.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah. Fuck hell yeah. Sex, drug, and rock, but it's like kind of miss it. Do you think rock and roll is dead?
I do. I didn't think so, but
do.
but now I do. The top 20 right now, as of today, there are no bands in the top 20.
The one band we went to see a couple times, Band of Skulls.
Yeah.
They're defunct now, right?
It's just the singer now, and he's still doing a thing, and it's
Like that was like a little like resurgence for us of being like
rock and roll.
rock and
it
roll.
was like, but it was a time. It was like Band of Skulls and the Hold Steady. And, there was a couple bands that came out, and it was like, all right, these are new rock bands. And I mean, there's so much
no
out there, and there's so
staying
much
power.
that isn't good. And I just found a video of Maroon 5 covering 9 Inch Nails' Closer. Now, I've only ever heard one Maroon 5 song, and it was an accident because I was at a wedding. Holy shit. I thought I was going to kill myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's so
I'm sorry.
It's so bad.
I'm sorry.
It's so bad. But yeah, it's this is one of the things. Chris Cornell commits suicide. Mm-hmm. But Eddie Vedder is still alive. We have 20 more years of that mush mouth nonsense.
I say I like Pearl Jam, so it's like you're talking to.
I haven't liked a Pearl Jam song since their second record.
Yeah, they have their following. It's like it's
But
weird how they.
Look, I'm sorry. Don't hate me. Like don't come for me.
It's like you like it or you don't like it. And it's like I like it, but do I follow them? Do I whatever? And it's like we know a few people that love Pearl Jam and follow them. they almost turn into like Grateful Dead, Fish. Now it's like Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
it's like
it's not a jam band, but they have that kind of thing.
yeah, it's not a jam band, but they have a following, and they're going to be famous forever, and they'll always pack a stadium.
Hey, Matt Cameron's their drummer, and he's forever probably one of the greatest.
Yeah. So it's like, but there's nothing to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus,
It's like wow, this has got like
Well,
I thought the death would be a depressing
That's how
subject.
depressing
It's just it's the death of rock and roll that's bumming me out.
I mean, the one
man.
thing that, thank God, is happening, Aerosmith's on their final tour.
Oh, shit.
Thank God,
damn.
go away.
Yeah.
The only other good news I could get today would be a Red Hot Chili Peppers final to farewell tour. Shut up and go away.
I have to say it's funny because he's coming around and whatever, and it's like he was okay, but now it's like he became really annoying to me. But I had one of the best experience was John Bon Jovi. Again, we worked for a record station for forever, and one of our good friends called me up like on a Saturday or Sunday, and it was just like, knew I lived in South Philly. The stadiums are in South Philly, and it's just like, you're the only one I thought of that is single and could go to a show in a drop of a hat. It's like, but there's tickets at the will call if you want to see John Bon Jovi. I literally could ride my bike to the stadium. I jumped in. They're like, yeah, they giving me all these badges. I'm going backstage of John Bon Jovi, and I'm sitting like a foot from the stage, but like, how would you say, perpendicular to
Like
the stage?
you're in the wings.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at John
yeah.
Bon Jovi's butt,
Right,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm
Yeah,
on the
you're
stage.
backstage, yeah.
Like the guitars and stuff are going right in front of me.
It's awesome.
And I'm watching. So when he's singing "Living on a Prayer" to 22,000 people, and they're all singing along, and I have his view of it.
Pretty amazing.
I'm like,
that's
goosebumps. Like, oh my God, I can't believe like people like this is their life of like just it's
I've
mystic. It's magical.
I've been
it's
very
fucking-
conflicted with Bon Jovi recently because I really thought I loved Bon Jovi, and then I'm like, this dude's been making adult contemporary rock
Yeah.
for a very long time.
long time. Yeah.
But my wife and I were talking last night. So weird you bring this up because my daughter just discovered Slippery When Wet, and she is hard into Living on a Prayer.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it,
Like those were all classic.
that record's pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
So we were like, my wife said, she goes, did we ever see Bon Jovi? And I went, we did.
Huh.
When John Bon Jovi first got the arena football team in Philadelphia,
Right. Oh, I remember.
we knew
yeah,
a
yeah.
guy that was tied into the investors.
Yeah.
And he gave my wife and I tickets
Yeah.
to this like kickoff event. It wasn't even a game. They
Yeah,
just
yeah. The
like
stadium,
introduced the players and
the
what arena
players,
football was
yeah,
going to be. And then Bon Jovi played 10 songs.
Right.
They were all smash fucking hits.
Yeah.
And at the
You
end
knew
of it,
everyone
I
was.
remember looking at my wife and going, yo, if we pay $1,000 to see Bon Jovi again, it'll be worth it. Because that was awesome. That dude's show, like what
Right.
they just
Oh,
did
yeah.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
fun.
get
And
the Bon
actually,
Jovi thing.
driving in today, we try to always make these evergreen, but his mom just passed
Aw.
yesterday, and they call him Mom Jovi.
Mom Jovi?
Mom Jovi.
Bon,
but she
it's
lived a
but it's
long-
Bon
long-
Jovi.
Yes, it
It's-
is.
Yeah, it's Mama
Right.
Bon Jovi. Is the real name.
Yeah, Pierre was doing that correctly when he was
yeah.
reporting on it. He was
Yes,
like,
and don't-
because I was like, oh yeah, that is his actual.
And don't forget all the important work that his cousin Tony Bon Jovi did. No lie.
Yeah.
He owned the Power Station recording studio. He was a producer.
Oh,
I think he
right.
produced a Jimi Hendrix record. I could be wrong.
Huh.
But I think he did a Jimi Hendrix record. And then a couple other things, big hits. Opened his own recording studio, and John Bon Jovi recorded Runaway. The band recorded Runaway after hours there.
She's a little runaway.
Yeah, but he also Tony produced like a bunch of Ramones records and like the first Talking Heads, like big shit. Yeah, for sure.
But that was like the whole thing. Like even like Little Runaway. It's just like you long for those songs of like angst and like getting out of town and making something of yourself and like,
dude, and that's why,
and grabbing your girl and like you're gonna make it.
And that's why you'll always love a fucking Bryan Adams song. Because they capture that.
Yeah, they capture that. Awesome. It's like I always think of Rod Stewart's Young Turks. That's fucking. All right. I'm belting out that. It's like I'm right behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn it.
Oh, man.
You kids today missed out, man. It's just like rock and roll used to be really fun.
Don't grow up. Never trust anyone over 30. Rock and roll never dies.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. All right. We're on our recommendation section.
Yes. Jive and Honey's highly recommended.
Highly recommended. Can't find shit to watch. Watch one of these things.
Yeah. That's really boiling it down to what.
Hopefully you've seen the other episodes and know how this goes. We're picking out some old, slightly older stuff that, when you don't have anything to watch, maybe think of one of these guys.
Yeah. It's shocking because now it's like, 2006 was a pretty long time ago.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm the old head here, so like I'm going way back.
Yeah, well, you don't just have to go to like 1970 to make it old. You can go back to I don't know, not that long ago. Yeah, apparently.
I know.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
Weird. Yeah, something made in the early 2000s is 20 years old. It's insane.
Yeah, that is.
But we just got done doing our first music episode, which I really enjoyed. It was like I loved the whole thing. And on a little sad note that we think rock and roll is dead, but what the fuck?
It's not our fault.
It's not our fault.
It really is not because of us. We've done plenty to try to keep it alive.
So
we buy the records. We go to your shows. We go to bar shows. We go to arena shows.
It's actually I'm okay with it because I'm not looking for the next great act. It's like I actually enjoy going to see shit in little bars. I love like having a beer at the bar and a good rock band's on. I
do too. And you know what?
I'm good.
I'm very, very. I'm adamant about it. I've said it before. Like I'm listening to new artists. I'm checking out new bands, and I mean not just things that genres I would like. I mean I have a 9-year-old daughter. I've been listening to a lot of pop music. I just saw Olivia Rodrigo in concert. She ruled.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? And at the same time, there's other bands out there, bands I know we mentioned before, like Idols, who is like, post-punk, what you would think punk music in 2024 would sound like. They're awesome. Like, there's a lot of really great stuff out there.
You just got to find it.
You got to get out. You got to make the effort. Make an effort. Yes.
If you're older. So I have to say I'm very excited for this recommendation. It is like I can't even describe. I get so
you are very excited about it. It's palpable.
We at one point it fell through the thing. I was so obsessed with this movie that I made a bet with you that I could watch it every single day for a year. Because I think I had watched it like 6 days in a row, like just like after we're done with what I'd just throw it on and watch it, and I'd just be like, I fucking love this movie. And not that
it's a great movie.
It's a great movie, but it's not like it's not a masterpiece. It's not what it is.
It's also not watchable every day.
Yeah, I beg to differ, but we never.
Yeah, we didn't shake on it.
But how I describe this thing is, I don't even know. I always say if you want to see a young William Dafoe.
I mean, with a crazy hairdo.
Yeah. Very young William Dafoe have a sledgehammer street fight in patent leather bib overalls with no shirt on. This is the movie for you.
You know what? It's funny. The actress in this movie was in a TV show, and I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm going to start looking this up, but you keep going.
Yeah. So this is Streets of Fire, 1984. It's a Walter Hill film who did The Warriors, 48 Hours, and oddly enough, he did Crossroads, which the whole episode was about with Robert Johnson.
Hey, how about it?
With Karate Kid. I don't know if you ever saw
Ralph
it.
Macchio, yeah.
Ralph Macchio. It's good. He wrote the second Aliens, and he wrote Aliens 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Really? So William Dafoe, sledgehammer fight. I get it. It's 1950s. It's in the Bowery. And it's just like this, again, another noir kind of like old school, like.
But it's almost post-apocalyptic. Like it's pardon me, not post, but almost futuristic-y. Everyone's got pompadours and hot rods.
Yeah,
yet
well,
there's a
I think
weird,
it's just an exaggerated 50s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it's like, but the clothing, the thing, but the actor, Michael Pare?
Pare, yeah.
Pare. He's like an 80s staple of like cheesy, but good movies.
But I mean, he was a handsome, older than he should have been for those movies. But
his character's name is Tom Cody. Oh, fuck, man. I wish my name was Tom Cody. But he's just a big palooka, and he talks with his fists. And
the manager was Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. I mean, you got to have that light thing. But then, Diane Lane. 18-year-old Diane Lane. There's an end scene where she does a power ballad in a red sequin dress. That red sequin dress solidified my heterosexuality as a man. She is covered from wrist to neck to knee in a dress, and it's the sexiest thing I've ever seen. And she's doing, there's a song, it's called What It Means to Be Young. And she is punching her fist into the night air, and backup singers, and it's drama, and the hero's leaving, and it is so good. And the whole thing is her and Tom Cody had this love affair, and she became a huge rock star, and he left. They broke each other's hearts. But then she gets kidnapped by a rival motorcycle gang led by William Dafoe.
But it's like they're neighborhood rivals.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
It's bananas.
Yeah.
And they kidnap her. Tom Cody comes back brokenhearted, but he's going to go get the love of his life.
So the woman who convinces him, the waitress,
his sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she was in the Warriors.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
if you don't know that, that's Coke bottles.
yeah, this is Coke. Ding, ding, ding. And she was also in Too Close for Comfort.
Monroe.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. See, like even better things come off this movie.
Yeah.
Everyone in it is amazing.
There's a lot. Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. R.I.P. Bill Paxton. But then there's a black group, like a 50s black group, all dressed in the same thing, who Robert Townsend is in.
That's right.
And they're called the Sorrells, and they have a song is like, I can dream about you. And they're like, and it's like, it's the whole ending. The whole ending is, it's a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
but
it's also like the music is very 1984.
Yeah.
Like it's written in 1983 or 4.
And
crazy.
the best use of red and blue gels
There's a
everywhere.
lot, yeah.
Steam. Get that smoke machine
almost
going.
Like this super low budget Blade Runner vibe.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
It's good. And then the motorcycle gang's lair, there's like strippers like just dancing in the bar. And it's, I believe, I have to double check this. I believe it's the dancer that was the flash dance dancer. Was the stripper in the biker bar.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Streets of Fire is a pretty great pick. It's pretty great.
I like just that end song. The opening song is so good. It's just power ballads.
It's pretty great.
It is great. It bombed in the theater, but has such a cult following now that like Diane Lane says people still ask me about it today. And it's just like, but then the one thing that I found out on the internet, it was supposed to be a trilogy.
They had
two other scripts, and the last one is called Cody Returns. I'm like, it's just like, I think someone should pick this back up.
Maybe we should do a radio play. I'm going to recommend a movie that I remember seeing in the theater, and it's about a particular time in music. It actually spans quite a bit of time, but it covers the Manchester music scene in England from 1976, well, into the 90s. And it covers Joy Division, New Order, the Happy Mondays, and Factory Records as a whole. And it's the movie 24-Hour Party People.
As soon as you start saying that, I said, I think I know this.
Which Michael Winterbottom directed, and thankfully stars Steve Coogan.
Oh, so good.
Who he plays Tony Wilson, who's the founder of one of the founders of Factory Records. And it just does such an amazing job.
Amazing job.
Does it really?
I mean,
it's something that I think I would have enjoyed anyway. He really made
elevate it
next level.
Did he win any awards? Like that? It just seems like a performance.
A BAFTA, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But Michael Winterbottom did a really interesting job with it. For some reason, I think I remember hearing the entire thing was shot on some sort of digital video format, and then really heavily color corrected.
Right.
And it changes over the course of the film, which was subtle but interesting and great. And the music's amazing, and the tragedy of Ian Curtis is covered in there. And they really do a good job. They had a lot of information about inside information and what people were feeling that were involved in that at that time. And really just fantastic. And I mean, even without Steve Coogan, I think it would be super enjoyable. But he does really a fantastic job, and it's about great music, and I mean I'm a sucker for that.
I love inside industry films.
Yeah,
and I just remember it's very unsustainable, and also had horrible tragedies, but they wanted to do it a certain way. They wanted the artwork, everything.
Yeah.
They wanted to control it.
Yeah.
It's and it's this thing in the music industry. It's almost impossible.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, they just bled money because they put the art first.
Yeah.
And instead of a show or anything, and as you typically do, but I do want to recommend some older music. It's older because he's dead. But I've been real heavy on Mark Lanegan, who was the lead singer of the Screaming Trees, was the guitar player and co-vocalist in Queens of the Stone Age for a while, and had a very prolific solo career where he put out a ton of records. He did some with Isabel Campbell from some Scottish band. I forget what band she's in. It's not a band that I like necessarily, but they put I think 2 records out that were beautiful. He has a very dark, very ominous voice. He did a record with Greg Dooley of the Afghan Wigs and Twilight Singers. Called the Gutter Twins, which was a real dark, real good mood. But Mark Lanegan's stuff is great. He wrote an amazing book about being a singer in the 90s and on heroin, and his upbringing, which was fucking rough. But yeah, it's gone too soon or maybe too late, depending on who you ask, because he might have been on borrowed time. But I highly recommend Mark Lanegan's music. Screaming Trees and his stuff with Queens of the Stone Age was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. That's it.
Do you have a show?
Yeah, the one I have real quick is The Defiant Ones.
Shit, that was good.
It was so good. It was so well produced. And being filmmakers, it's the editing, the just how it was shot, the little details. It's a beautiful documentary. But the story is amazing. It's 2 very, very different people and how they came together. It's Dr. Dre. You're going to have to help me with
Jimmy Iovine.
Jimmy Iovine. There's an O in it, and it kind of always throws me off. Jimmy Iovine, who's a legendary producer, and how he got into the business is crazy. And Dr. Dre's story is crazy. And I loved all the Dr. Dre stuff.
The Dr. Dre stuff, who I was never a huge fan of Dr. Dre the person.
Yeah.
But Dr. Dre, watching him in this documentary listen to music.
Right.
I just remember that one scene. He's listening to Nirvana. Yeah. And he is enjoying it so fucking much. Yeah. It's so great.
One of my favorite things, and it goes back to sustainability of artists doing what they want to make music, is when they signed Trent Reznor.
Oh man, that is
And
good.
he's just like, I want to produce it myself. I want this. I want that. I want that. And Jimmy Iovine going, yep, okay,
Yeah,
you got it.
yeah. Couldn't and
He goes, I want to sign my own people. I want to do it.
And
it's
Trent
like,
Reznor could not believe it.
yeah,
could not believe
could
it.
not believe it. It's like,
yeah,
but yeah, watch it.
yeah, it's great.
Awesome. You
and
won't
I
be
got to say,
disappointed.
outstanding editing.
Editing
It
is
really,
beautiful.
It's fantastic. It's original, and the mood of the edit is
Yeah.
so great, and it served it so well.
And the truest compliment is that we bite off it all the time in our own work.
Yes, we do. We
You know,
steal from that documentary.
we stole it and
all
we
the
used it a
time.
couple times.
So kudos to you guys.
So watch it. It is.
Please do watch that. Watch 24-Hour Party People. I remember after seeing that movie in the theater thinking, I bet this is going to be amazing on DVD because it's going to go so much deeper.
Yeah.
And I think I watched it on DVD one time.
I'm gonna watch that again.
Yeah,
I want to
just-
watch that.
Yeah, it's super enjoyable. Watch that. Listen to Mark Lanigan. I think another Streets of Fire. Just you got to see it. And something we had mentioned like maybe a week or two ago. If you never saw The Commitments, you should watch The Commitments. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, Commitments is
It falls
great.
into this too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch that. And watch Dogs in Space. I brought that one up. That's pretty good. I don't think Michael Hutchins was actually a pedophile.
No, I don't believe.
And with that, please rate, review, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Send us some love. Tell some people that this is a good show and they should spend some time watching it.
Yeah.
Tell someone. Tell anyone.
2 idiots named Jive and Honey
That's right.
talking shit. It's great.
And we'll come back and we'll give you some more things that we think are amazing and some unfounded opinions. Bye.
Boom.